Greetings, fellow mortals. It is I, your one true master, Ozuma. Be sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates on Seanstermations MIRAI, for the day of Ozuma will arrive, the day of resurrection, and the day of revenge. Farewell.
Hello, everybody. My name is Seanster2.5, and welcome to another special and long-awaited update for Seanstermations MIRAI, where today we're going to be covering around the villains that you could expect in the series to come. The images you see before you, done by our beautiful artists Can and Meg the Lovable Dork, love you, mommy, are basically the art that you see before you. Sorry, I'm losing my trail of thought today. Sorry. Are villains that the pictures that you see before you that are going to be appearing in this video are what are a couple of villains that you, the viewer, will be expecting in the series to come. Although Manny has reminded me to not show you all of them, but show you only some of them because of spoiler reasons, and any backgrounds of these characters will be fully explained in the series. But before we start this video, and to get into the context on why this video exists in the first place, is that I humbly apologise for not having any updates in March, or lack of, due to a little holiday thing that happened for only a week where I couldn't necessarily do it. But so here I am today, giving you a special update, at least a couple weeks early, as promised, with it being mid-April. And but if there was any inconvenience between March and this point in time, mid-April, then I highly apologise that there was a huge hiatus between the last update and this update right now. But the context of this update video, sorry, where are my manners? I'd just like to say thank you very much for being very supportive about this, and I promise you that this update video that is being presented before you will definitely be well worth the wait, because, as I will get into in 2 seconds, 1, 2, we are going to be having a little bit of a discussion about the villains of Seanstermations MIRAI, because as true to many filmmakers and series makers alike, a hero is created, easy done. A hero is a hero. But the challenging part of making a series is that you've got to make a decent or even spectacular villain to combat against the forces of good. And believe me, everybody loves a good villain. Villain characters such as Darth Vader from Star Wars, Mina Jutler from Emmerdale, Thanos from the MCU. All these individual villains have in common is with the appropriate writing, with the greatest character development, and a satisfying end to their reign, then each of one of these villains could be considered to be the perfect examples on what villains actually do and what villains will accomplish to create a legacy of being loved to hate, essentially. Because if the villain is well written and he is has been given like a ton of moments where you just feel, "Ooh, I can't stand him." Villains just love to be hated, to be fair. But yeah, again, the actors who do them, okay, I don't want any hate towards them, okay. The actors, they are very well paid. They've played hero characters before, like for instance, you got well, let's have a little bit of a think about what could you do. Well, there was Matt Smith from Morbius, for example. He was in Morbius. I believe he was a villain in that one, but then years prior to the Morbius film, he was also the 11th Doctor. So, yeah, respect your actors, and yeah, well, just respect your actors, and be sure to support them in their greater career that is to come, of course, with all the projects that they have in the future. But without any further ado, now that it's all getting started, there will be a ton of things to cover. There might even be a backstory to the villains I made in the past, how I could fix that for the villains in Seanstermations MIRAI, and what you could expect from these individual villains. Yeah, that is yet to come, of course. But if you enjoyed this update video and the more updates that are about to come, I may not be able to do another update video in May due to a special announcement, which I will get into at the end of this video. But if you enjoyed this update, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Seanstermations MIRAI updates coming soon. And really, I'm looking forward to sharing another update with you. It's been really great so far with the past few updates this year. But without any further ado, let's get right into the villains and what you could expect from the villains of Seanstermations MIRAI. So, when you look back on the villains of Seanstermations, I mean, it's plainly simple. You have the villain, and they have their own individual arcs, but the thing is, with the resources that I had at the time, I wasn't necessarily able to flesh out all the villains. I wasn't able to give him like a backstory, a motive why. In fact, it only took me till Seanstermations Next to give me my villain characters a solid. Well, that's not including Ozuma, because Ozuma is going to have his backstory continued in the new series, as well as Ramiel, who is non-canon to the Seanstermations universe, but will certainly be very much canon in Seanstermations MIRAI to fill the spot of Ozuma for season 2 onward. But for characters like Zen, that numbers guy, that puzzle guy that Mizuko fought in Seanstermations Next, that I do not know what I was thinking at that point. I guess it was just because I had a little bit of a villain shortage right now, and Aspara maybe kind of sort of a little bit copyrighty, so I may have to redo all of that. Maybe similar but different, but definitely not as I did originally to avoid copyright. And the same can be said for Atrocin too. But with the villains of Seanstermations MIRAI, I intend to fix that with solid original backstories. Although it is some of the characters, as you see before you, are inspired by other villains and anti-heroes of anime series, which have really touched my heart over the years. To compensate for that and to avoid any copyright strikes, what I intend to do for the villains is give them a solid backstory, to give them somewhat of character development, give them a challenge to our heroes, and just be able to fully display how evil these characters can be unless they're reformed or just plain defeated or kind of sort of unalived. I believe I had a few conversations with Meggy Dork on why some villains who are quote unquote hot always seem to get unalived, and my honest answer to that is that I just don't even know. I just don't even know. If you take characters like Sasori from Naruto Shippuden, if you take Pain also from Naruto Shippuden, the characters, those characters in fact, are somewhat quote unquote hot to some, and some would even name their husbandos. But then when the author kills them, especially with the backstory, they feel that. They feel the character deep down, and that's notably due because of the backstory and the character's motives. If anything, an appropriate backstory for those individual characters, because you got Sasori, who was always alone and really wanted something to fill his heart, and Pain. Oh boy, Pain, and well, Pain dash Nagato. If there are any Naruto fans in there, but for those who aren't Naruto fans, essentially, Pain was a war orphan, and every day since has been a complete and utter struggle. The whole world that has been turned completely upside down and against him, giving him a new view of the world, and hence why he wants to bring Pain to the world. So if that formula can help perfect, or at the very least make these villains of Seanstermations MIRAI even more better than the villains that I would come up with back in the day, then potentially you could be looking at a new generation of villains where it will appeal to the fans, it will appeal to those who just love anime husbandos, and it will also appeal to the on the oh boy, sorry, I'm stuttering today. The fans of Seanstermations alike. And hopefully, with the reign of Ozuma and Ramiel coming in season 2, you can expect a lot more of that in the near future. So I can guarantee you there'll be a lot more to come. But alongside inspiration from other anime characters, I even took a little bit of a step back and looked on the internet, hopefully to get some information, and I looked, and there was a lot of things that you could do with your anime villains. I even see some anime where they based off their villains on folk tales, creatures that would only be seen in fairy tales, like things like yokai, evil spirits, etc., etc., etc. So, because Transformations is essentially going to be a Japanese show, but at the same time, it also will take elements from all around the world, so it will be completely diverse. So, what you can expect in that department is that there are going to be some villains in the series that are based off Japanese yokai, essentially. I will have to give my thanks to the 2018 series or the 2018 or the sixth series of the classic anime Gegege no Kitaro, because that series was pretty much a part of my life. It also gave me a little bit of an inspiration on if these yokai existed, what could I do with them, and if say who would be their boss? Ramiel, obviously, because there's a lot of plans for Ozuma. I'll tell you what. But if any of these yokai were to appear in Transformations, I would have to make them at least original in some way without making them too similar to previous yokai renditions from other animes like Gegege no Kitaro, and make them something completely different with different motives, different backstories, and different reasons to wanting to stay beside their villain boss, because that is because that's sometimes how villains roll. They have their minions, they have their backstories, they have their buffets. The veal is pretty spicy. I'm not gonna lie, especially the doner meat. Um, but aside from that, you can definitely expect a lot of different legends from folklore or fairy tales to be in this individual series, which it may be bizarre, almost like JoJo. But if I manage to play my cards right, you can expect them to be either quirky, funny, or just downright villainous. But see, as that this update video revolves around the villains, then you can kind of sort of expect that. So I can guarantee you that they will definitely cause mischief of a villainous kind. And for those who may be wondering, for those who have not seen the previous updates on how I told everyone that Ramiel would be replacing Ozuma for season 2 onward in Seanstermations MIRAI, it's not that I don't like Ozuma, believe me. Ozuma was pretty much the template of Seanstermations villainly. He has been a fun character to do and a fun character to draw and to write. But the reason why Ramiel is replacing Ozuma is a very secret reason, which of course I cannot say for the sake of spoilers. But although Ozuma may be leaving in Seanstermations MIRAI season 1 at the end of its finale on the season 2 onward, it's not going to be his end. It is not going to be the end of Demon God Ozuma. No, 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 no. Because even though Ozuma is going to be like not as frequent as he was back in season 1, his legacy will no doubt go on to other villains and villains that are inspired by him, and it will be up to Sky to show them the era of Ozuma's ways and eventually the era of their ways too, from the misleading directions of Ozuma. However, Ramiel is there to enforce the misleaded Ozuma ideals and inflict them onto her minions. So you're going to be seeing a lot of villains who are either still into the ways of Ozuma, who are just evil because they're evil for the sake of being evil, with of course an appropriate fleshed out backstory. Don't you worry about that. But um, the but for those who love Ozuma, for those who adore the character demon god Ozuma for so many years, from Seanstermations to Seanstermations Next and Seanstermations MIRAI onward, the it, the legacy of Ozuma is still going to live on, and although there may be some villains out there that will either go into a anti-hero stage or just leave a villain team entirely, or even stay as a villain just to get their comeuppance later on in the series. Um, uh, Hopefully, season one will eventually end Ozuma's story with a good happy spirit. But um, all I've got to say about that is just even though the character was gone, his legacy will not die because there are going to be two characters that are very well related to Ozuma. Again, I'm not going to say what their name is for the sake of spoilers, but one of them will be crucial to the main plot for season two onward, and the other one will go into an anti-hero stage when he learns that what Ramiel told him was wrong. But you may be asking, who are those people, you may ask? Well, I guess it would be appropriate to say that we're going to have to save that for another update video. Hopefully in the next couple of months, if there isn't anything between June and July. But either way, I hope that the villains of Seanstermations Next will be just as good. Not next, to be right. Oh, I'm already getting confused already. The villains of MIRAI will be just as good as the villains of Seanstermations past. Not as good as the villains from other media like Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, Seven Deadly Sins, even Emmerdale of all things, but will nonetheless be a part of the Villain Hall of Fame. Okay, maybe not Hall of Fame because, well, these characters are very well unknown as of now. But for those who enjoy Seanstermations, for those who enjoy this update, and those who really love a really good villain for a series like an anime or a TV series, I can guarantee you that these individual villains will likely knock your socks off, maybe even make you feel the feels a few times. But nevertheless, I will do my best to flesh out these villains as well as I do with our heroes and main characters, and maybe even side characters alike, fingers crossed. And with that, and now that everything on this little list here is covered, which I've been doing this little checklist since the Dragon Ball Fighters Kickstarter. But a checklist does always help. But with everything checked out for this update, I believe that is going to be the end of another Seanstermations MIRAI update. And although there is going to be another month hiatus, meaning that the next update is going to be in June, due to a brand new series that's coming out in May, which is going to evolve a couple more What If stories. So for those who are avid viewers of the Horror of the Stars series or the Yu-Gi-Oh! What Ifs that I did back in the day, but was kind of run down short due to due to my either lack of inspiration or or me focusing on other projects. But either way, if you enjoyed this update and with more updates to come, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates coming soon. I really hope that you've all enjoyed the show, and I hope, again, that these villains will be as satisfying as any villains from any series, TV, anime, cartoon. I really do hope that they live up to your expectations as we get into the series production, hopefully when you get to see them in the series completion. But I really do appreciate all your support for coming by, stopping by, and watching these videos. I will continue to give you updates more frequently after June, meaning that there may also be an update in July. But if anything changes, I'll be sure to let you all know. But from everyone here at Seanster Revive, as well as everyone from the Mass Legion and everyone from Seanster Patrol and Magpie family, thank you so much for watching another Seanstermations MIRAI update, and I'll see you all next time where the topic will be revealed, hopefully in one of the walkthrough videos. Again, I'll keep you posted when those videos come out. But for May, I really do hope you enjoyed the new What If stories, which, of course, seeing as that the first one is going to be premiering in May the 4th. May the 4th? Isn't that Star Wars Day? What could I possibly do on May the 4th? Well, I'm sure that you'll find out soon, and it will definitely be one with a force. But until then, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you all had a good time, a good time as well as I did. And thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you all for the next update. Stay safe, everyone, and have fun. Bye-bye. Oh, and before you go, I can guarantee you that these villains, from the history of villains that I've seen so far, they're definitely going to get memes. Lots and lots of delicious memes.